when you're hitting the bag, right? I see you hitting when you walk. I want you to do like this. Boom, 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 boom. You keep for boom, 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 boom. How long you can do that? 1, 2, 1, 2.
I think when he weighed in for Mike Tyson was 227 pounds. That is, if I'm not mistaken, a 92-pound weight difference. Almost a 100-pound weight difference. It's insane. That is called one thing. That's called being a bully.
Gervonta Tank Davis recently joined forces with the legendary Mike Tyson for an intense and brutal training session ahead of his highly anticipated clash with Jake Paul. The gym was buzzing with energy as Tyson passed on his trademark ferocity, precision, and raw fighting spirit. Witnesses say Tyson personally drilled Tank on explosive power techniques, from perfecting uppercuts to tightening head movement and maximizing body torque for knockout-level shots. Those in attendance described Davis as sharper, faster, and more dangerous than ever, clearly channeling Tyson's signature aggression. With Iron Mike in his corner, Tank looks poised to unleash absolute chaos when he steps into the ring with Jake Paul.
Yeah. Are there any considerations when you're moving your head, like you're trying to get your head out of the center line?
No, well, you want to get out the center, but the objective for him to throw the punch before you can counter. Like if he throws the punch here, you count here, you go to here, and you're still outside.
Yeah, absolutely, that makes sense. So you want them to miss, and when they miss, that's your opportunity.
Absolutely. Sometimes you can punch while he's punching, you can throw boom at the same time. As he punches, boom, you go down.
Absolutely.
It's all about moving after you punch. As soon as you punch, you're going. Whatever it is, boom, side, whatever it is, you have to go.
I love that foot movement. Is that something that Casamano taught you?
Yeah, twisting.
Twisting is what it's.
The blockbuster clash between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis is officially set for November 14th at the Casa Center in Miami, Florida. The bout was originally planned for Atlanta, but organizers were forced to relocate after the Georgia Athletic and Entertainment Commission raised serious concerns over the significant weight disparity between the two fighters. Despite the controversy, anticipation continues to build as fans prepare for one of the most talked about showdowns of the year.
Oh my days. Jake Paul versus Tank Davis. Is this real? This can't be real. Because he was talking about fighting Joshua, which is heavyweight, and now he's saying about fighting Tank. Nah, this can't be. It's Netflix as well. I need to go and do some checks and see if like the main pages have posted this, but Jake Paul's posted it. It says Friday, November 14th. It's in Atlanta, State Farm Arena. This is random, no?
Mike Tyson, who has personally shared the ring with Jake Paul, has issued a word of caution as Paul gears up to face Gervonta Tank Davis. Having witnessed Jake's power and composure up close, Tyson understands the pressure and unpredictability that come with fighting him. However, he also recognizes the serious danger of stepping in against a fighter as explosive, fast, and technically lethal as Davis. While Paul holds the edge in size and youth, Tyson believes Tank's speed, timing, and devastating one-punch knockout power make him a legitimate threat regardless of the weight gap. His warning hints that Jake Paul might be dangerously underestimating what Davis brings to the ring.
I think Gervonta Davis is probably the greatest fighter around now, but he's got a tough fight coming up. You know, he's the top dog, there's no doubt about it. He showed that. But Barrios, he's a pretty good fighter. Last time I saw him fight, he was pretty durable.
However, during his training sessions with Gervonta Davis, Mike Tyson openly acknowledged that Jake Paul's punches carry unexpected power. Tyson admitted that his entire body was sore after sparring with Paul, a confession that stunned many who had dismissed Jake's physicality. Coming from a man who's both endured and delivered some of boxing's most brutal knockouts, this was no casual compliment. Tyson's remarks underlined that Paul's power is authentic, not hype, and that his commitment to strength training and boxing fundamentals is paying off. It's a clear sign that Jake Paul is no longer just a YouTuber stepping into the ring for show. He's a legitimate athlete capable of doing real damage.
Oh, no, I don't remember the fight that much. I kind of blanked out a little. Listen, know what I remember? Coming back from the first round, Then the next day, I remember Jake is doing some kind of, I don't know, what was he doing at the meeting?
Oh, yeah. A little bow at the end. He bowed.
And that's the last thing I remember. You know, but the day after the fight, right after the day after, I woke up and told my wife, why did I do that? You know, I don't know. I just don't know what the hell goes on.
What did you think of Jake's power, man, when you were in there?
I don't remember it. But my body was really sore. Yeah, my body, my chest, my stomach and stuff was really sore.
Fans and pundits have often drawn parallels between Gervonta Davis and Mike Tyson, pointing to their devastating knockout power, aggressive fighting styles, and larger-than-life personas. However, these comparisons come with important caveats. Davis competes in a completely different era, weight class, and boxing landscape. Tyson's legacy was built on a ferocious peak that still defines heavyweight history, while Davis is carving his own path in a modern, media-driven era.
I mean, I have to ask you, would you ever remake your famous video game? Bring it to the next generation consoles, my friend?
Hey, I'm just happy to be alive.
What about, I mean, what do you think about people comparing Tank Davis to you? I mean, what do you think about that?
Tank's a great fighter.
You think he's a great fighter? What do you think about them comparing it to you? I mean, you're a legend, my friend.
Well, he'll be one too if he keeps fighting.
Oh, okay. All right, well, thank you. Okay, bye.
On the flip side, Davis has pushed back against being labeled a younger Tyson. In interviews, he's quick to draw distinctions between their styles, describing himself as more of a boxer-puncher, while noting that Tyson was a pure brawler who relied heavily on aggression, pressure, and psychological intimidation.
Do you feel like you're the mini Mike Tyson? Nah. What do you call your style?
I don't know. I think I'm a boxer puncher.
What was Mike Tyson?
He was a brawler.
Brawl means more than one person.
A brawler, like somebody that fight.
So he knocked people out real quick. You knock people out real quick.
Yeah, but I can knock you out like.
So you saying that you can knock him out faster than Mike Tyson? Probably. If it was a challenge.
No, I'm not sure. I'm saying like Mike Tyson got power and skills. I feel as though like I have like the whole package. I don't know. I'm me.
When Tyson was asked about the comparisons between himself and Davis, his response was characteristically blunt. He admitted there might be some similarities, but not in the way most people think. Tyson reportedly quipped, maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no, referencing Davis's off-ring controversies. The remark underscored that Tyson doesn't fully buy into the narrative that Davis mirrors his own legacy.
So Tank Davis, a lot of people say he reminds you of them. Does he remind you of himself?
I don't know. Maybe just getting in trouble with the law. Other than that, no.
Interestingly, Davis hasn't always viewed Tyson as an untouchable icon. After Tyson's loss to Jake Paul, Davis openly criticized the matchup, questioning why a legend of Tyson's stature would return to the ring just for a payday. He suggested that the spectacle did more harm than good to Tyson's legacy. That critique revealed that Davis wasn't interested in idolizing Tyson as an infallible figure. Yet now, in a twist of irony, Davis finds himself in a similar position, facing backlash from fans, pundits, and purists for accepting his own flashy, controversial showdown with Jake Paul.
Do you think that it's fair to call them boxers now? If we talk about Logan brothers.
I think it's okay to call Jake Paul a boxer. The only reason why I say that is because he do be in the gym. He's working on stuff. The fight that he fought Mike Tyson, I don't think he should have fought Mike Tyson because of who Mike Tyson is and the age. And he said that he didn't try to knock him out. Yes, you did. You just couldn't get the knockout. And he tried to knock him out for sure.
How much money you think they paid Tank?
Tank gonna make upwards around 100 million.
Say a word.
Real talk, so you can't really blame him for taking that.
Many see the matchup as more spectacle than sport, arguing it prioritizes entertainment over competition. Critics have noted that Davis skipped a logical rematch with Lamont Roach, a fight many felt he owed, to pursue a more lucrative, high-profile event. During the recent press conference, Davis fired back at the criticism, declaring that he doesn't care what people think and urging fans to simply sit back and enjoy the show.
Look at this face-off, Henry. What are your thoughts?
You're hearing that shit from me. That's cringe. In some weird way, I kind of like it.
About it?
He's trying to big man the smaller guy, who the smaller guy to me is dangerous. I think Tank Davis is going to put their hands on him. But I like it, bro. I will say something about Jake Paul. He's brought a lot of attention to boxing. Tank Davis guaranteed $40 million.
If you were in that position, would you fight Jake Paul?
Oh, hell yeah. You got to give Jake Paul his flowers. Mike Tyson, Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz.
Jake Paul is a disruptor, and he's done a phenomenal job. You get big and famous enough to where it will just hand you the title shot and completely throw out the ranking system.
If Jake Paul was to do that, I think that'd be the greatest sports accomplishment in history. Going from a Disney Channel kid to a YouTuber to becoming a world champion.
I don't remember the last time that I've heard Gervonta Davis say, I'm in boxing to be the greatest fighter of all time. I've heard him say that he's better than certain guys in his weight class, or this kid can't beat me. I've heard that. I can't remember, and maybe y'all can keep me honest online. The last time I've heard Gervonta Davis talk about his legacy in the ring, like I'm building my legacy, I'm trying to outdo Floyd in legacy. Like, I think it started like that for him. But the influence of Floyd Mayweather, Money Man, not Pretty Boy, but the Money Man, and building your brand and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views and becoming a household name, that's also a legacy. You got the legacy in the ring and you got the legacy in terms of how you sold. I believe Gervonta Davis is more focused on selling tickets and making money and securing his future for himself and his family. He said it out of his own mouth. I ain't got nothing else to prove. If you're trying to be one of the greatest fighters of all time, it's still a whole lot to prove. My point is, Roy, I don't think, should everybody hold this man to the standard that they hold him to and say, you not fighting nobody, yeah, you making money, but you ain't really fought nobody. If he don't even care about that, that's not even something that he's really focused on. If his main focus is the money, and his main focus is getting out of boxing without getting hurt and retiring on his own terms, shouldn't his fan base and other people get on board with that if that's not even his goal? How can we hold him to something like that if he don't even hold himself to that?
Mike Perry, known for his blunt and unfiltered opinions, didn't hold back when addressing the idea of Gervonta Davis stepping into the ring with Jake Paul. Perry argued that Davis is no longer the knockout artist he once was, implying that his passion for boxing has faded over time. He went on to say that when a fighter loses that pure love for the sport, it becomes incredibly difficult to compete, especially against opponents who are naturally bigger, heavier, and hungrier. Perry warned that despite Davis's superior skill and speed, he would be facing a serious disadvantage against Paul, who could outweigh him by nearly 180 pounds. That kind of size gap, Perry stressed, isn't a small factor. It changes everything. The way punches land, how stamina holds up, and how much punishment a fighter can realistically endure.
Your buddy Jake just signed on to fight Tank Davis. What do you think of that fight? He's got like 100 pounds on him.
Yeah, and they say that there's a large weight discrepancy, like me and Jeremy are the same size. So, it's his lower half is really small. My legs are gonna work the best that night. I have really strong legs. I'll squat twice the size that he can, and so my strong legs are gonna do work. Jake is big. Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
Boxing analyst Showbiz the Adult took a blunt stance, claiming that Jake Paul will land heavy shots on Gervonta Davis. His reasoning centers on Paul's clear physical advantages, size, reach, and punching power. While acknowledging Davis's skill and explosiveness, Showbiz argued that Paul's strength and durability would allow him to dictate the fight's pace and impose his will. His assessment adds to the growing skepticism surrounding Davis's chances, suggesting that despite Tank's elite speed and technique, the sheer difference in physical dimensions could prove decisive, ultimately tipping the fight in Jake Paul's favor.
Think of how does Tank Davis beat Jake Paul? You have Shakur Stevenson saying Jake Paul doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell, and that Gervonta Tank Davis would just outbox him and beat him on points.
I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
And I get that, but when I think of Tank Davis, I think of a guy who kind of counters you to knock you out. I think of a guy who's not really a busy fighter. And this isn't just a size thing, because hell, if it was Jake Paul versus the prime Manny Pacquiao, I would say Manny Pacquiao because of Manny Pacquiao's style, how busy he is, how he hops in and out, I think he would collect the points. While Tank Davis, I think he punches the least amount of all fighters in the world right now. So do I think he can one punch KO Jake Paul? Well, the thing is about Gervonta has really shown a huge amount of concern fighting anything north of 135. Check this out.
He hit me in the back of my head. That stung a little bit, but other than that, it wasn't really. That's why I was nervous. Like he's 140, so I wouldn't try to get caught too clean.
Critics argue that Jake Paul's recent actions, particularly his victory over 58-year-old Mike Tyson, underscore a troubling pattern in his boxing career. Many see his decision to fight an aging legend as more spectacle than sport, raising doubts about his true commitment to boxing. Notable figures like Carl Froch have dismissed Paul's performance, claiming it lacked real technical depth and skill, and suggesting that his success is driven more by showmanship and spectacle than by genuine athletic ability.
Jake Paul, you've lost your mind if you think you can go toe-to-toe with Anthony Joshua. Listen, let's not get confused, guys. Let's not get confused. Yes, cool. Anthony, he took a big L with Daniel Dubois. But Daniel Dubois is not no joke, bro. It's not a joke. You know what I'm trying to say? He took an L. Yeah, but Jake Paul, I got the utmost respect of what he's done, how he's managed to navigate through the boxing world. Like, bro, it's so mad. And I can see this is like a 90%. It's happening, his positioning, his marketing already. Like, why would you see Jake Paul go face to face with Alexander Usyk if it's not to position for a fight for Saudi? Obviously, Jake Paul's gonna fight Anthony Joshua. There's possibly gonna be a Usyk against Tyson Fury 3, because obviously the last two were so close. But you never know. It can also be a Usyk against Derek Chisora. Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Stephen A. Smith has repeatedly criticized Jake Paul's choice of opponents, arguing that most of them are either past their prime or not active high-level boxers. He contends that Paul has yet to prove himself against legitimate elite competition. In response, Paul has maintained that he tried to secure a fight with Tommy Fury, claiming Fury initially turned down his offers, a matchup Paul said would have been a true test. When the fight finally happened in February 2023, it marked one of the few occasions Paul faced a full-fledged professional boxer in his prime. Paul lost that bout by split decision, his first and so far only defeat against an active, established boxer.
You are beating up on dudes who don't box. They're not boxers.
I was on Disney Channel while these guys were winning UFC championships.
Okay.
You know, I was playing with Mickey Mouse while these guys were throwing arm bars and winning UFC championships. Everyone's, analyzing my career, critiquing it, paying attention to it from day one, but you can't tell me who was Mike Tyson's first fight. You can't tell me who Muhammad Ali, who was his fourth fight. No one knows, but everyone's seen all of my fights. I tried to fight Tommy Fury. Yeah, I tried to fight Tommy Fury, and he backed out due to a rib injury. Undefeated, young prospect. He comes from the Fury family. His brother's the heavyweight champion of the world. I tried to fight him, and he got scared.
Stephen A. Smith has openly criticized Jake Paul for choosing to fight boxing legend Mike Tyson. He argued that if Paul truly wants to be taken seriously as a boxer, he should face opponents closer to his own age and skill level instead of targeting seasoned veterans who, while more experienced, are well past their physical prime.
I can't buy the hype at this particular moment in time. Now, I'll give Jake Paul credit for this. At least he's in the ring with a boxer. But 57 years old is 57 years old. And 57 years old and formally walking into a UFC fight as an audience member, as a patron with a cane. It's hard to believe a year later that you're going to be in any condition to really, really fight. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. And if you're Jake Paul, here's what I want to say to you. It's Mike Tyson, that's fine. It's a money fight, I get you, and you want to make money. But at some point in time, if you keep telling us that you're taking boxing seriously and you want to be recognized as a big-time boxer / fighter, you're gonna have to fight somebody closer to your age, who is a contender at the very least in the sport and who lives with it every single day. Could you please get in the ring with somebody? Pretty please with sugar on top. I'm interested.
But what did you think about the fight, Jake Paul?
I hate it. And Jake Paul's starting to piss me off. Mike Tyson is 57 years old, man. Jake Paul been training with professional boxing trainers for years. He takes the sport very seriously.
Thank you. So let me ask you, that's the question I have, because great kid, great businessman, by the way, amazing. And I know how he does all this, the character and the persona. We keep saying that he doesn't want to be a boxer. He's not a boxer, but then
Jake Paul is a boxer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my point.
Exactly. He's a boxer.
He can fight. I respect it. So go in there against fighters. You should be climbing the ladder towards those other fighters and taking the sport seriously to the point where you're fighting actual boxers. Now he decides to fight a fighter, a real fighter, which is Tyson. But Tyson is 30 years older. Stop this nonsense of going against dudes that either ain't boxing or is 25 years removed from the sport.
Meanwhile, Jake Paul claims he's revolutionizing the future of boxing. In a recent interview, he stated that the sport is becoming more exciting than ever and credited Netflix as a true game changer. With Netflix stepping in as a major streaming partner, Paul believes boxing is entering a new era, one that extends far beyond traditional pay-per-view audiences. The move, he argues, exposes the sport to millions of new viewers worldwide, many of whom might never have watched a boxing match before.
Huge news, by the way.
It's massive.
Like,
yeah.
I know we're
It's
taking it very
massive.
nonchalantly. This is going to be your next super fight. And this is
on Netflix. Yeah, Netflix. Insane.
So it's another Netflix fight.
November 14th, Netflix. Hey, it's fun. It's funny. Like, actually, you kind of like pioneered this a little bit. The pay-per-view model for combat is dying. It seems, especially now with the Paramount's acquisition of UFC. It seems like free fights may be the way of the future.
Piracy is such a big problem. That's what it is.
And I thought you did that with one of your fights where you were going against the piracy. What fight was that? Where I don't know, maybe.
No, I mean so there's there was like the TV era of boxing, then there was the pay-per-view era of boxing.
What do you think? Can Tank handle Jake Paul's size and power? Or will Jake prove that he's truly changed the game of boxing forever? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.